doing emotes in DayZ. DayZ's been around for quite a while. I mean, I'm just going to take a wild guess and say 2015. It might be earlier, might be a little later, but I haven't exactly looked it up. I've done a little bit of research on it just because now I'm playing it. I should have looked it up before I made this, but that's not the important part of this video. This game's been around for about that long. Nowhere on YouTube that I could search for was how to do emotes, because it's not in the tutorial. On the PlayStation 4, that is. Here's the thing about DayZ on PlayStation 4. I'm not sure if this includes the PC, but it might. DayZ is a game where you have to go to YouTube to learn how to play it. DayZ will give you a headache while you learn how to play it. So much to the point where you'll be bedridden with such a bad headache, and you'll need to take Tylenol or over-the-counter aspirin, over-the-counter Tylenol, whatever. Because there's so many hidden buttons that are, of course, for whatever reason, is not included in the tutorial. This tutorial is useless. You can read it for a little bit, but it's not going to help you. It's going to help you with just the basic, it's like reading a first grader's book for a game that needs a college manual to learn how to play. That's what this tutorial is about. The tutorial is kindergarten teachings, if you could think of it that way. Whereas the game itself, there's so many undiscovered buttons that for some reason you have to go online to find out about. I don't like games like that, but I'm going to make an exception in this point. DayZ is one of the most amazing games, high thrilling games, real to life games that you'll ever play. For people like myself. Not a lot of people want to play this game because they say, well, I tried to play DayZ, and every time I ran out of food, overtaken by a common cold, or, thirst. Okay. And then there's others that will say, well, yeah, I was being messed with. Some people call it aggro. It's a term they use from other players. But I digress. I'm getting off topic. I'm not going to do the emotes just yet. I'm going to talk about them for a moment. I'm nervous about spawning into this game. I still have not found a backpack. Maybe that's the reason why I've been doing so well. I've been watching videos all across the internet to figure out how to play this game. The emotes was the most difficult one to find, and I want to talk about those today. Emotes is on the D-pad. From what I've learned, but I haven't tested yet, I believe it's double tap on the D-pad to the right. Then you click the R3 button, and then you should cycle through, and you'll be able to click X on whatever emote you want to be, whether to give the finger, to wave, to crowd, to sit down, to say yes or no if you don't have a mic, which is two bobs for yes, and then one bob for no, where your character crouches. Some people call it teabagging, which is a thing I've seen, which is, it's kind of hilarious. It's kind of become part of the culture of games in this genre. But nowhere on the internet does anybody explain very well emotes in this game. Everybody assumes you know, probably because somebody in the game taught them. That's great. But I have not been able to get that far. Not being able to use emotes is very, very important, because that could be the downfall of your character completely. Then I've also thought to myself, what happens when somebody who's brand new to the game comes up to me and they're like, hey, can you help me? Can you help me? Yes, I'm going to help them, but if they start to become clingy, start asking a ton of questions that they could probably find out for themselves if they just did a little research, and then they're constantly whining, yeah, help, no, we got to stop, I need this, I need this, I need this. Nope, I'm sorry, but you need to either get away from me, because you're going to get us both killed, or go on your own. If you keep pestering me, and I know this is probably most likely going to happen, I'm going to meet some 8-year-old kid on here by the way, shouldn't even be playing because that's their parents. Whatever. I'm not going to tell you how to raise your kids. But I don't want somebody clinging to me for me to be basically their babysitter. When I met that encounter with the person that I met, I'm not going to mention his name because I just don't want to keep mentioning his name in my videos, even though he's probably one of the coolest people I've ever met in a video game, in a cyber, not in real life. I'm never going to meet somebody in real life or attempt to go out and meet them. You have the protection of DayZ in an alternate universe. This is as far as it's going to go. No personal information ever. No stupid exchanging of numbers. No this or that, telling them your real name. That's not the thing. I want to be immersed into this character in this world and make something out of it. I don't want to go around and just shoot people and take their loot, and then all of a sudden it ruins the reputation. Your PlayStation 4 character name, you can change it, yeah, for some money. You can change the name. But how many times do you want to just keep changing your name? That's not good for your. That's just not good for your games. Some of your games can get corrupted if you actually change your name in different games. Be aware of that. I mean, you might log in to a save game. You know, let's say you want to take a break from DayZ, and all you did was just troll people the entire time, to the point where everybody who knows you, they don't want to be around you. I don't want to be that person, by the way. But some people, they don't care. And then they're like, oh, well, I'll just change my name and everything will be okay. Well, I hope your other games, because of the reason why you came to that conclusion, get corrupted for punishment. If I was to able to wave a magic wand, say, well, this person was just a troll in DayZ, all they did was just kill everybody in sight and didn't even want to care to see what their story was, who they were, the reason why they were, do they need help? You know, are they a secret society initiation where they pretend to be a noob, and if you shoot them, okay, they're like, okay, we want nothing to do with this person, because they're obviously just trolls. They think DayZ is all just one little tunnel vision. That the tunnel vision is so small, they don't understand the full capability of DayZ. DayZ is the game that is we all talked about, that is the perfect game ever made. Yeah, sure, there's going to be some glitches. There's going to be dupers. I just found out about that recently. There's dupers, supposedly, not proof, from watching other YouTube videos. Like I said, when you're learning this game, you're going to be watching YouTube videos like you're going to college. 12 hours a day in you know, figuring stuff out. Total dedication to improving your playstyle. Not total dedication on how you can be just a troll and just shoot people because you have all the best gear. And if you have all the best gear in the game, and you have a really, really decked out character from somebody giving you the very best of the best, there's only about maybe 5 buttons you need to remember. And that's the one that has to do with your, probably, maybe, 10 button combinations. And that's not very much for DayZ. Turns out DayZ is a plethora of different types of buttons combined together. Some of them you have to tap twice, some of them you have to hold, some of them you have to hold and release. The muscle memory to figure this out is going to give you a headache, because there's so much to learn on your PlayStation 4 controller. Have you ever studied for a test, and then you keep repeating? Let's say you needed to remember back in 9th grade, or 8th grade, 7th grade, where you needed to remember the planets from the sun. Now follow me here, where you repeated it to yourself over and over and over and over in your mind, or or actually wrote it on paper and whispered it softly to yourself, or if you were alone, you'd say Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus. And back when I was in 9th grade, Pluto was a planet still. So it was Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and which is an acronym. I don't remember the acronym because I think acronyms are stupid. They teach you to memorize the acronym, but they don't actually teach you to say the name of an object or a thing or a person, place, whatever. So that's what it is about DayZ. when it comes to button combinations of all, you need to sleep on it. You need to say it to yourself just the same way as studying for the test example that I just gave. And you're going to say, okay, to throw an object on the PlayStation 4, I hit square, square, and then your character goes back in a throwing position, and then you don't need to keep holding this, just square, square, release, tap, tap on the square button twice. You don't need to hold the square button. And then you hit press R2 and hold it. And then you can then use one of your toggle sticks. I'm not sure if it's a left or right, but either way, there's only two of them, so it's got to be either one. You're able to control where it's going to land. Then you release R2 and it throws it. I had to tell myself that at least 50 times to get it to the point where, okay, if I'm in a high pressure situation and I need to throw somebody else's gun away from them so they can't use it on me, I need to do that in a panic, high pressure situation. If I haven't studied and I'm like, oh yeah, and you're all nice, and let's just expand on this example and say, okay, I went on Jeff Dragon's YouTube channel, and he told me about emotes because it's pretty much it's not in the tutorial, and for some strange reason, since this game's been out for quite a while now, there's not really a single good video on YouTube that talks about it. Maybe my search results were just terrible, but I've looked and I've looked. I've tried different type of search words. There was one that I found, but he forgot to tell us what button to press to even open up the emotes menu. I want to try to expand on that. Now, to do an emotes, it's like I said, double tap the D-pad to the right, and then what he said is you then see, I haven't really done this before. I've just memorized the buttons yet. I've done my studying homework like the example I gave with the planets. So it's double D-pad to the right, double tap, then you're going to R3 toggle stick, select the one you want to use, just like selecting a weapon. Press X, and then your character goes into the whatever emote you chose animation. I want to cover that in this video. But I want to talk about it before I go into the real world. Discuss, talk about that. And I know there's a lot more I need to talk about as far as button controls that I've recently learned that were not in the tutorial, and really kind of, you have to go to YouTube to learn about it. Whatever. That is the thing about DayZ. Maybe that's just a new revolutionary way, and I'm just being an old cranky old man, and I'm set in my ways. No, I need to actually reprogram what is in my brain and say, yes, not having a decent tutorial is actually the intentions of the developers on purpose. They know the power of YouTube is out there. They know people are going to make videos to help them along. That's great. That's ingenuity. That makes it, it makes it what it is. People like me, though, would rather, though, have a detailed tutorial that covers everything. I don't care if it's 100 pages, which for DayZ it would be. Maybe that would have added too many megabytes to the program to sit on your console, because the megabytes or gigabytes, I'm not sure what it was. I think it was gigs. Don't start nitpicking whether I said gigabytes or megabytes. You understand what I'm saying. Don't put in the comments and start being some professor nitpicking that, because you're not being helpful, because the paradigm is the same. When I talk about maybe because the 100 pages, which it probably would be, tutorial, would just be too large. It's not practical. YouTube solves that problem. That's cool. Nothing wrong with that. So there's two sides to that coin. Both are positive, a little bit of negative on each side. Let's get into it. Oh. The thing about jumping servers is not a good idea. So I'm going to have to stop this video and make this video into two parts. Jumping servers is not ideal. And by the way, it's not any of these. I'm not going to tell you what page it's on. There's 186 servers, and there's no way you're going to be able to find me. Anybody out there who's just watching this that just wants to troll me. Oh yeah, and let me just talk about something else. When this channel does become successful and I do become known in the DayZ community, I know there's going to be some out there that are going to try to hunt me down and kill me just to say, ha ha ha, nanny nanny boo boo, you're a cranky old man. Well, you know, I don't really care, and I've already thought ahead about that. I know it's going to happen, so that makes me even more cautious. But I'm trying to help the DayZ community, and I'm trying to actually find a game that I've been looking for all my life. DayZ is it.